So gaming mice with holes in them is the new craze in 2019, and right here we've got Coolermaster's MM710. Now recently I did pick out a mouse for myself. It was my new main, and that was the G102, and I absolutely love it. It's pretty good value for money. The shape is amazing, buttons click well, and the sensor works phenomenally well. But this right here promises to even give me better performance, especially when I'm playing games. However, if you guys follow us on the channel here, I don't really review mice that much. And what's the point when my good friend Zai lives literally about 20-minute drive from where I am? So in order to collaborate with Rocket Jump Ninja, one at least, or at the very least, has to try to match his level of superior intellect. So I'm gonna have to call on an alter ego for this comparison today, where we're going to be comparing the MM710 to the G102 and also to the new Ultralight 2 from FinalMouse. Since I did see Zai's review and I'm very curious to try one, but not at $120 US. But anyway, let's level up our intellect and see what we can do. Hello everybody, this is the review and comparison of the MM710 from Coolermaster, a superior mouse with a PWM3389 sensor. It also features hyperglide feet and a paracord cable. However, from here on in, let's rendezvous with Zai from Rocket Jump Ninja and formulate and strategize a perfect plan for a mouse review at his current locale.
I actually do need, these are reading glasses and I do need them at night, so.
So now, if I was in the mouse in the market.
If I was in the mouse market.
Yeah.
What?
So basically, if I was in the market for a mouse right now, I'm a fingertip gripper, I'd be picking one of these three mice. Obviously, I've picked the one in the middle there, the G102. It's my main, but I need your opinion, Zai. What do you think about these three mice going from left to right?
This Coolermaster MM710, pretty much the #1 pick out of these. I'll get to why in a moment. They've put all the best features, 3389 sensor. The shape is amazing, but you'll have to watch my review to understand that in more detail. This cable though, and I'm about to drop that mouse, let's put it over there. Let's try that again. Blooper about to happen, these cables are tied. This is how Tekia City treats his mice. Don't you love it? Yeesh.
Hey, that's how Lomberto treats the mice.
Lomberto really needs like a lesson in treating mouse cables a little better. Like they're legit, look at this. This is going into a pocket once, I think. It's about how tangled they get.
Hey
We're
guys.
gonna untangle these and then we'll do the video. Okay, easy choice is actually this one at the moment. It has all the best features that we asked for in top first-person shooter gaming mice. This one, I mean, it's still good. Don't feel bad if you got this, and if you don't have the money to upgrade to this, don't worry about it. This is still a top choice, still an amazing mouse. We don't hate it. Ultralight 2, too hard to get. This one is actually my main right now. So if you could get that and you had the money for it, absolutely, it's an amazing mouse. I prefer it over this one. But only just. This one was selling in Australia for $189. This one sells for $59. And you're pretty much getting AUD, $59.
Wow, yeah. Okay.
So you're getting that same awesome flexible cable. Well, not the same, but still pretty much exactly alike. You got the holes, so the lightweight, this one's about 52 grams with a bit of cable. This one's 54 grams with a bit of cable. The gains that you get from paying all that extra, this one's better built, I'll give it that, compared to my copies. But is it really worth 3 times the cost? And I don't think anyone can say yes, because you're not going to aim that much better with a mouse this size or whatever. Even if your hand size is suited to this one, you're not going to aim that much better. You are actually better off buying this one because it's going to be cheaper. You get all the same sorts of features.
But I see you're kind of like focusing on this guy and this guy, but you're leaving this poor guy out in the middle here. Like he's not getting any love. So you feel like these honeycomb designs are superior.
We've found that the less weight there is in a mouse, the easier it is to actually aim precisely. We can exaggerate this. If we had a mouse that weighed 10 kilos, you wouldn't be able to move that properly, would you? Because there's too much weight in it that's stopping you from having precise movements. Yeah. You're using more strength, the more muscle you need, the less precise you are.
Yeah.
So using even lighter weight, even though it's only, 32 grams or 31 grams or so difference, when it comes to a gaming mouse, that actually means a lot. So dropping down, it'll take you a while to adjust, but once you do, most people have said that they're aiming a lot better than they ever did. There are some people who still prefer heavier mice, but once you get to these ones, there's no going back. A lightweight mouse, super flexible cable. I mean, you look at these things, pushes the mouse all over the place, and that's a heavy mouse.
Yeah.
Do that same test with this, look at that.
Okay.
That's not going anywhere.
Well, I'm definitely going to try all 3 of these mice out pretty soon and see what the hand says. Is
Nice.
the hand going to accept the new mice? The problem is I don't want to fall in love with that FinalMouse 2.
I understand.
Because, I'm not like, $190 Aussie for a mouse, man. I'm going to be stinging if that one, if I do end up liking that better than the other 2. But that being said, my G102 is my original favorite shape. It comes from the G3. It's pretty much the G3 true successor. And the weight's good at 80 grams, right? I love that analogy of exaggerating things because you give people an idea of what's better, right? In the ultimatum of things. But that being said, can we think of the pen analogy, right? If you've got a pen that's too light, you're not going to write accurately. As opposed to a pen with a little bit of weight, you could maybe write more accurately. And of course, if the pen's too heavy, you're not going to be writing at all. So wouldn't it be fair to say that there's a spectrum of weight that's good?
This is possible. Okay. We'll have to look into that.
See, mice is a
it's an ever-going process of
ever-evolving industry.
It really is. So we haven't got a mouse that's too light for us yet, but maybe we will see one day. But right now, 50 grams still feels really good for aiming. And I'll just quickly point out the sensor's really good in this, but you can actually do tests to show that this one and this one have the better sensors as well.
And also, after that, do you want to see Lomberto or Brian do the mouse test?
I think we better stick with Brian for this one. This is serious business. I don't feel Lomberto is really taking this seriously yet.
Okay.
Maybe in time, but...
So Lomberto's not ready yet?
He's still a beginner.
Okay, all right.
Ultralight 2. Let's go.
This is the one I'm actually most curious about. My first impressions are like, wow, that's actually different in terms of a grip to anything I've gripped before. This is going to be interesting, actually. Hey, is this a fingertip lover's dream, or is it? So after that initial test, I did pretty well on all 3 of these mice. I don't think you're going to be at a detriment if you had any 3 of these and you're a fingertip gripper. I scored, like when I was really trying after a warm-up, I scored pretty much similar on all 3 mice. I did kind of like, this was different. I've never tried a fingertip grip like this, and it was interesting. I did like it. This is my normal shape, my go-to shape, and this one had like a little bit of a lifted up bum. It was kind of hard to explain, but is the shape was the least desirable, maybe, out of these three? How would you, yeah. I'm just going to pass you off desired, maybe why that is.
Sure thing. So this is more a palm grip mouse. You can look where the, let me just undo this cable. Look where the hump is on this. It's pretty much in the middle. So that's the highest part of the mouse. This one on the other hand has it at the back.
Ah, so it's not all in my head.
No, it's not all in your head. And this one is kind of not really, it hasn't really got a hump at all as such, but if you're going to say where it's more back middle, it's that, those 2 points are where the hump is. So when you're talking fingertip grip, you want, I mean, you can get away with some hump in the palm of your hand a little bit, then your fingers sort of arc over the rest. But otherwise, you kind of want a shape that's more like that, with the lower sort of back, hump in the middle, and at a really low as well. I don't even know the height of this one, I can't remember it. About the same, 3.5 centimeters, whereas this one's 3.8 or 3.7. I should know that, I just did the review. So it's about, although it's only 2-3 millimeters difference, it can alter some people's grip if they don't arc their hand up enough. So if your fingers sit more flat, of course they're going to hit the hump, and that'll mess up your grip a little bit. What I do want to say though is that you've been using this design for how many years now? Whereas these two are new. So while you still did really well with this, I think if you used these two for 2 months each, you'd be aiming better with these. Like this is getting you to one potential, these two will get you to another one.
So, I mean, I can afford to use this one, but do you have a spare copy?
This one is potential out of your reach because you're too poor, but this one will get you to a nice, affordable potential. So the one on the left, Ultralight 2, is 5.35 centimeters at the grip width, so the fingers there. This one's 5.45 centimeters. So while they're very similar in dimensions, you can tell they don't look that similar. This one looks way smaller, and especially if you look at the back hump. So across the top here is only about 5.3 or 5.2 even, whereas this one's 5.6 or 5.8, depending where you measure it. So the fact that this has such a wide hump at the back, it really gets in your palm. If you're a claw palm gripper or a palm gripper, and you have a hand under about 18 centimeters, maybe even 19, this one's actually a really good choice, whereas this one will feel uncomfortable to you. So it depends on your grip style. Because Brian here is a fingertip gripper, like me, we prefer this design without the hump in the back. We are just all about our fingers on the buttons and on the sides. That's it, we don't want any other contact. I will say that I do like a bit of contact on my palm back there too. Other than that, just fingertip grip. So depends on your grip style, but again, depends on what you can afford. I mean, this is a non-issue. I'm just saying for future, if you see mice designed like this, that's how you can choose. Fingertip grip, you don't really want to hump back here. Palm or claw palm grip, you do want to hump, and you want to design like that. And they're all on easy. This is about your aiming, it's not about...
Okay, cool.
So yeah, you're fine. But we'd need to...
Screen record it, yeah.
So I want to just change, invert. W forward.
Yeah. Standard.
Back. You don't need anything else.
Yeah. As long as I can walk and jump, and that's it.
Oh, jump. What's your jump?
Space. Yeah.
Space. Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, it's about it. And then
So I just finished up playing Quake Champions, and I usually, I don't even know what I'm doing when it comes to Quake Champions. I don't play this game, literally at all. But Zai made me play it. He said it's a great game for testing your aim, and it is a great game for testing your aim. And I started playing this on a mode called Insta-Jib, and it really just tests your accuracy. And I found, naturally, I was aiming the best on the Ultralight 2, and it sucks because I do not want to spend that much money on a mouse. It's just too expensive. It's in another league compared to these other two mice. It's just, I don't want to spend that much, and I refuse to spend that much on a mouse. And as it comes to the MM710, that was priced, it's priced 59 Aussie dollars, so it's priced really well. And then you got the G102, which is priced even better, and I love that shape. And so the MM710's kind of in between both of these in that I do like lighter mouse. I think that is a trend that's going to help practically most people aim better in gaming. And I see that trend kind of continuing where sooner or later you're probably going to adopt a lighter mouse. But I still feel like shape's really important. And so this is the weird part. Like the MM710, I did notice I was aiming better in Quake Champions than the G102. But my hand, for some reason, still prefers the G102 shape, if that makes any sense. And then the Ultralight 2 kind of combines the best of both worlds together, where it's got the shape and the weight. And so maybe I'll wait for something else to come out that's copying the Ultralight 2 and it's cheaper. I think maybe that's the best solution, but maybe Zai wants to help chime in here and tell me, because yeah, I don't know.
So as Brian just said, this one's kind of combining the best parts to him being the shape and the weight. These are about 54 grams with a bit of a cable. This one's 52 grams with a bit of cable. This one's 85 grams, and as I said, the cable is not very flexible at all. So the MM710 right now is a comfortable choice. It's a good in-betweener. So even if you don't like the shape, it's still going to be pretty good, close enough to the FinalMouse Ultralight 2 to get you where you need to go. But at the same time, I'm going to tell him to wait for another mouse too. Just in the meantime, if he's desperate, this is definitely a great option.
So basically, in closing out this video between the three, I wish I never came here because I ended up liking this the best. And this one here had really good attributes, but I felt like the shape is more suited towards a small hand palm grip than a pure fingertip grip. And I've got a pure fingertip grip. I've been saying this, you guys have known ever since I've talked about mice, I've always gripped it in that way. I actually used to call a fingertip grip a claw grip, but I don't even know, I'm not that of an expert on mice, and so that's why I come here to Zai's place to get that expert opinion and sort of make sure that things I'm talking about aren't in my head. And so it isn't in my head. This is a great shape for fingertip grip, and then this is a great weight for enhancing your aim. And I definitely did experience that here today with Quake Champions. And yeah, I was like, wow, I'm actually hitting a really good trio, for example, which, I don't know, it's pretty crazy. I'm gonna see if I can just maybe see if Zai goes to sleep and just, he wakes up and this is missing off his desk. Who knows? Maybe Lamberto took it somewhere.
Just a quick update on these. So I got 4 copies. 2 of them were pretty bad rattle-wise. And if you tap like that, just with the cable at the end there, don't do it too hard. But if it's making that sound, and then if you rattle it, hang on.
That's fine. I got a test.
Oh yeah, cool. So if you're hearing that sort of sound and there are rattles on it, you should probably return it because apparently that was only the first batch. And I'm testing Brian's and it actually sounds okay. So some of them are fine even in the first batch that went out to reviewers, but second batch is apparently the one that has all those fixed. I'll keep you updated on my channel for that, but for now, if you do get one that has the rattles, make sure you return it, get another copy.
So also guys, big thanks to Zai for helping us out with today's MM710 mouse review. Also, he didn't want to come on camera because he's still a little bit sick, but big thanks for helping us out with this review. As I said before, if you guys are into anything with gaming mice, then you got to check out Zai's channel. I'll put the link in the description below. He's also a good friend of mine who lives on the Gold Coast. And Zai, do you want to close out this video?
Peace out for now. Zai.